Yo, what's going on, guys? Jaycon here, and we're back with myself playing Amber Steel. Now, this is one of the decks that I brought to showcase against the DKP matchup, so feel free to check that out if you haven't seen it. It should be in the playlist down below. But yeah, this deck I've taken to a different level of Amber Steel, kind of minimizing the aggro approach and also removing the whole new worlds. So as you can see here, we're not actually playing any Smees, Daisy Ducks, Lawrences, whole new worlds, and we're just trying to minimize that and focus solely on getting out really good, strong cards in this meta, such as Beast Tragic Hero, Namari, and Aerial Shift. So this is going to be the strategy that we have here. Essentially, we're going to want to do turn 1 Cindy, turn 2 Troubadour, turn 3 Aerial, and then turn 4 Shift into the Aerial, and turn 5 into Beast or Namari. So we do curve out in that way, and we want to see that as frequently as possible, which is why we're also playing Be Our Guest at 4. There's a lot of cool things that this deck can do, such as playing the Beyond the Horizon on turn 3 by having Cindy and Ursula sing it. And it's quite good, especially against slower decks that don't spit out too many characters like red, blue, blurple, things like that. So yeah, feel free to check out this game here. We are playing the Emerald Amethyst deck against our friend here. I'm not too sure if this is going to be the aggro version or discard version or evasive version, so we'll definitely find out soon. But it does look like I do take the play here in a best out of 3 game. And we started off by inking ourselves Bare Necessities and playing Cindy on turn 1. Now I do like Bare Necessities because it does take out problematic cards like Be Prepared, Friends on the Other Sides, Finders Keepers, and even locations and items as well, so keep that in mind. Bare Necessities doesn't just take out an action, it takes out an action, item, or even location, so non-character card. And it's great to sing in case of, let's just say in this case here, the opponent doesn't want to play a 1-drop because they're worried that it's going to get stormed or strength. So that's why we play Be Our Guest and Bare Necessities for us to have a target to sing with Cindy. As you can see here, Bare Necessities does hit the pull the lever out of the hand, and we get to see what the opponent has. So double Rafiki, the Merfolk, Ursula, the Fox, and also Elsa. So we do have to be careful of the Ursula. So hopefully we don't have any other songs in our hand, because he's probably going to curve out and playing that Ursula to try to take it out. And if that happens, then he'll most likely whiff. A lot of times I do want to keep the song counts in my hand to a bare minimum and try to fetch it out with cards like Ariel. So that way you can actually sing it, right? Because again, like Ursula is going to be a very big problem for this deck. So you definitely want to be just cognizant of what the opponent has and what you're going to be playing against, right? So as you can see here, we do curve out relatively nicely. Ariel is going to be able to get us the strength of a Raging Fire, meaning that we do have the option of taking out the Ursula by singing it with Cindy, which we do choose to do. And the reason for this is because, again, we are playing against the Emerald Amethyst deck, so a lot of times they could shift into an Ursula shift, right, later in the game if that Ursula sticks around. And because, again, like, we don't have too much board wipes or bigger characters to challenge into their things, we just want to be able to control the board as much as possible until we can get up to our Aerial Shift, Beast Tragic Hero, or Namari. And that's when we can slowly control the game, because we'll be getting a lot of card draw through Namari and Beast Tragic Hero. And then from there, hopefully, then we'll be singing some songs and taking out their characters that way. Once we have full control over the board, then we are going to start questing with things as well. So Troubadour is going to sing the Storm Rage on, taking out one of the Rafikis, allowing us to draw a card, dealing 2 damage. And we're going to go ahead and ink that Ursula, hopefully being able to ink another card and playing Beast or Namari. So again, Beast and Namari are in Aerial Shift are going to be the biggest characters in our deck. Generally, you don't have to ink past that, unless you're just, again, having a pretty good board state and you have cards like Cinderella or Ursula or Troubadour in your hand, and you don't mind inking that, right? But it's also good to note that once you do have Namari on board, you do want to keep at least one dead card in your hand, so that way you can cycle that card and discard it with Namari's effect. So the opponent's going to play the Peter Pan Shadowfinder and Chernobog, and we are going to play the third aerial, which is pretty crazy, right? But I mean, this deck, again, like I created like almost like a toolbox deck. So Ariel could possibly find us Be Our Guest. Cindy could sing Be Our Guest. We could find Ariel again. We could find Beast, Namari, and any other pieces that we might be missing to just be able to have a nice consistent flow and a nice curve turn after turn. And then of course, like in this case here, like when you have Troubadour and when you have Ursula, the 2-drop, those are really great targets to use Rapunzel with. Rapunzel doesn't heal too much, but sometimes I do find myself playing Storm or Strength on our own characters to be able to heal and get that draw 2 or draw 3 effect from Rapunzel. Because this deck does run out of gas quite quick if you don't get that Namari or Beast Tragic Hero. So again, that's the reason why we are playing the Be Our Guest, just to be able to sift that out as quick as possible, and other cards like the Mulan 1-drop as well. So we are going to be top decking now, and we are going to top deck into a Cinderella. Again, like at this point, we're just gonna spam the board with as much characters as possible, just to gain as much lore here before the opponent gains back control. Because again, a lot of their stuff trades very, very well against our stuff. So I'm gonna be singing the Be Our Guest, and that is going to find the Namari. Now, Namari is a new card from Reign of Jafar. It does gain 1 strength for every card in your discard. And then when it's played and at the beginning of your turn, you can draw a card and discard a card. So this, combined with Beast Tragic Hero, does create a really, really powerful draw engine there. Because if, let's just say, Beast Tragic Hero and Namari are on play at the same time, at the beginning of your turn, you can choose to activate those effects however you want. So you can play you can use the Beast Tragic Hero's effect first to draw that card, trigger Namari second, draw another card, discard a card, and then draw for turn. So we're then going to be able to sift out a bunch of those bad characters like Cindy, Troubadour, and Ursula late in the game, and start to find more of our bigger characters and songs as well that we can start to sing. So as you can see here, we were able to take full control by just being able to find a song turn after turn. Luckily for us, again, we were able to see 3 to 4 aerials that game as well. I believe we even saw a 4th aerial that I chose to ink. And the reason for that is, again, because like we had to challenge into that Merfolk. We weren't too sure if he was playing any other discard cards like Sudden Chill or Hypnotize, so I didn't really want to take that chance. I'd rather just ink that aerial now, since we weren't able to play at that time, and then just take out the Merfolk to be able to just gain control as quickly as possible here. So we do take it on game 1, and that means the opponent will be going first on game 2. So again, our strategy for this deck is very linear. It does have like a lower ceiling because it doesn't do too many crazy things aside from maybe singing Beyond the Horizons on turn 3 with Cinderella, Ursula, and Troubadour. And again, I'm only going to be doing this if we are going first. If we are going second, right, then that is going to be less effective, because the reason why the Beyond the Horizon on turn 3 is very effective when you go first is because the opponent going second is going to have 1 more card than you, meaning that you're able to rip 1 additional card from the opponent. And it really also depends on what the matchup is, right? Usually for purple or blue decks, those are usually the slower decks, and also decks that draw cards on turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, right? From like Chernobog and things like that. Those are going to be the decks I'm going to be more comfortable playing Beyond the Horizon on turn 3. Aside from that, Beyond the Horizon is really good paired with Bare Necessities, because if, let's just say, you don't hit anything with Bare Necessities, at least you get that hand knowledge being able to find out whether they have any like B preps, any locations, any items, just any problematic cards, right? Let's just say you don't even have like a Zeus to play against the Maui Half Shark, right? But you are able to see that, and then you just play the Beyond Horizon, you know, discard your opponent's hand, they draw 3 cards, and if you have less than 3 cards, you might as well discard your hand as well and draw 3 cards from that, right? So just a really nice card there to be able to supplement later in the game, especially when you don't have too much cards in your hand because you're just constantly inking stuff and you're really relying on Beast Tragic Hero and Namari to get back that hand advantage. But yeah, feel free to, you know, use this deck on the set champs. I did bring this deck to set champ actually recently, about 2 weeks ago, and I did manage to get 3rd place with it. So it did really well. But again, like sometimes in some matchups there, like it just doesn't really get the cards that you want, right? Sometimes Be Our Guest can whiff, sometimes Ariel can whiff. You know, it is what it is, but again, like when the deck does work out, it's very strong. Okay, so we're inking the Mulan, and we're playing a Mulan. So usually we want to see Cinderella on turn 1, but I do like Mulan there because again, like it helps sift out your hand and taking out like cards you don't really need at that time, right? And it also gets you 1 card closer to getting, you know, Ariel, which is very important in this deck, Rapunzel, and Beast Tragic Hero, right? So he's going to play the Ursula, he's going to look in her hand, there's going to be no songs, and that's the reason why I discarded the Strength of the Raging Fire with Mulan. For one, Strength is not going to do too much here, just because we don't have too many characters for it to do, you know, 3 damage or more. So discarding it, you know, with the effect of Mulan is something that I'm going to be okay with because, you know, I'm automatically going to assume that any Emerald deck against an Amber Steel deck is always going to try to hard mulligan for that Ursula Deceiver. So he does resolve the Chernobog effect by questing 1, banishing it, and drawing a card. So he's going to ink another Ursula, playing a Kit Cloudcaker, which bounces the Troubadour back to my hand here, and he's going to pass turn after questing with Ursula. So on turn 3, this is very pivotal. Again, we want to see that Ariel there to be able to get a song back to our hand. However, it would have been nice if we were able to set up a Cinderella or Troubadour turn prior, but again, that Kit Cloudcaker really did slow us down, because this is a turn we want to get something with Ariel and then sing it right away, so that way it's not left in our hand for him to be able to rip it out with Ursula Deceiver. So we're taking the Storm Rage on. Storm Rage on is great because again, like based off of game 1, it does look like this is more of a Emerald Amethyst aggro version, right? We saw the Merfolks, we saw the Flynns, more lower to the ground, meaning their characters are going to be much weaker and easier for us to pick off with those songs such as Storm Rage on. We're inking the Madam and Fox and playing the Genie, drawing a card, and against evasives, again, like being Amber Steel, we don't have any evasive characters ourselves, so we are solely going to rely on those actions to be able to get rid of it. But we're not too worried right now just because it is still early in the game. Yes, Genie does quest for quite a bit, but he's only at 3 lore. So next turn he's going to be as high as 7 lore, but we're not going to panic until maybe 12 lore, 13 lore. Because against the Emerald deck, he does play Go-Go, but there isn't too many good Go-Go targets, except for maybe this Aerial Shift. So we play that Aerial Shift on turn 4, and then we sing Let the Storm Rage On, taking out the Kit Cloudcaker. That way, you know, again, he can't bounce it back to his hand and start bouncing more of our characters to slow us down. And Ariel is going to be able to help us control the board because we can pay 2 additional ink anytime that we play a song for Ariel to deal 3 damage to any other character. It doesn't have to be the same character that we use the song for. So let's just say, even if I play Be Our Guest or Bare Necessities, Ariel's still going to go off by paying 2 ink to deal 3 additional damage, right? It's an insane card and a really, really good crowd control card, right? Especially in Amber Steel, we don't have any board wipes. Ariel is going to be the closest thing that we, can use in this case. And what's awesome is that, speaking about Ariel Shift, it did get announced in Fabled as a reprint as well. And luckily for me, I had a couple of Ariel Enchanteds ahead of time, because that card just skyrocketed after the announcement that it's going to get reprinted in Fabled, meaning that it's going to stay until the next rotation. And I believe that's like 1 whole entire year that we can play Ariel Shift again. So everyone was just buying out the Enchanted Ariel, which is insane, because I think it's like a $250 card now. So the opponent spams out his characters with the Merfolk and Chernabog and Merlin Crab. So we are going to be able to take out maybe 1 or 2 characters with the Ariel. So let's see. Namari is also really good in this case too, because again, like, we're playing Mulan, we're playing Ariels, and we're playing Namaris to be able to just keep looking at cards from the top of our deck, right? Sifting through that to be able to find the songs that we need. So that's kind of the whole strategy of what I built the deck around. It's just being able to find things when you need it, right? We have so many cards that does that in our deck. And that's why, in this case here, it's fantastic that we had Strength, because now Ariel's able to sing it, right? We're going to be able to take out a card, and we're going to start controlling the board. So he plays an Elsa, probably exerts maybe the Mulan, because he can't really take out the Namari right now, unless he crashes in the Genie and Ursula and Elsa. But I don't think that's going to be a really good trade-off, because again, being an aggro deck like the Emerald Amethyst version he's playing, he wants to keep his characters as long as possible on the board and just start questing out with things. So that's why he quests out with the Merfolk and the Genie, taking him to 10. So he's getting close, he's halfway there. But again, like, I'm not too worried right now, because we do have Ariel and we do have Namari. So again, that Namari is going to draw us a card at the beginning of the turn. Keep in mind, this is before your draw for turn. We're discarding the Pete because we don't need it at this point. Again, like, it doesn't seem like he plays We Don't Talk About Bruno. He could play like Wrong Lever, but again, like, the chances that he's going to want to play it over a character is going to be very slim. And in this case here, like, it's not going to do too much, because by this time, Ariel's already going to do what it needs to do, and that's going to be able to take out a bunch of characters, right? So Ariel's going to sing Zeus, probably going to take out either Genie or Elsa, and then we're probably going to pay 2 to take out that Merfolk. And then Amari can just straight up take out that Ursula Deceiver. Yep, so we take out the Genie with the Zeus, and then paying 2 to take out the Merfolk from Ariel. So Namari takes out the Ursula Deceiver, paying 4 to heal up the Namari with Rapunzel, drawing us 1 card. So now we have 2 cards in our hand, and really controlling the board here. There's not too much the opponent can really do at this point, because again, like, Ariel is very, very hard to get rid of unless you have We Don't Talk About Bruno, right? That 8 willpower is insanely high, and we have Namari just drawing us cards turn after turn, right? So we're discarding a Namari from Namari's effect. What that tells me is that our hand probably has better cards like Beast Tragic Hero, Rapunzel's, or even songs that we want to keep. So Zeus gets sung by Rapunzel, taking out the Elsa. Ariel's gonna use its ability, dealing 3 damage, and then Storm Rage On is gonna be sang by Namari, dealing 2 more damage, drawing us a card, and we have exactly enough now to play Beast Tragic Hero. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lore on the board right now that we can quest out for next turn, taking us to 10. So he plays a Peter Pan and a Chernobog and passes turn. So I'm going to draw for Beast and then draw for Namari, discarding a card and then drawing again for turn. Very, very, very powerful effect here, right? So this is exactly the type of board state that I want to see, right? I want to see my Ariels, I want to see my Namaris and Beast Tragic Hero. And this is a very, very strong board. And let's just say in the future you're versing a Ruby deck, you can sift out your deck to find Peats and find bare necessities to just slow down the opponent, and then, you know, again, quest out with everything to try to be able to win the game here. So right now we have 9 lore on board. He plays a Go-Go Tamago and plays the Merfolk. So again, like, we've taken control of the board. He's in top deck mode. We're gonna keep drawing with all of our cards, and then we're just gonna quest in for everything here at this point. Yeah, 5 to play another Namari, using its effect, drawing a card and discarding a card, discarding the Cindy since we really don't need it here late game, and then playing an Ursula and just questing out of everything. So he has to take out every single card or every single character on our board right now, which of course Emerald Amethyst can't do. So I'll take it there with a good 2-0, taking it away here with the Amber Steel deck. Really hope you guys enjoy this build here, and I hope that, you know, encourages you guys to take this deck or something similar to your set champs. And feel free to leave a comment there if you have any questions, or if there's other decks that you want to see. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one there. Peace.